Hi, everybody. I'm Miss Barbara, and I'm excited to get to share our lesson with you this week. I hope that you're all doing well. Um, I think of you often. I know that all of the teachers, Sunday school teachers at church, are also thinking of you. I'm wondering how you're doing. Um, Lots of changes right now, lots of new things, and so it makes our lesson today especially good for this time. So we are going to be talking about something called willingness. So let's get started. Let's take one deep breath. And relax our bodies and say our affirmation together. So I'll say it once, and then if you could join in and say it twice more with me, that would be great. The affirmation for today is my heart and my hands are willing and ready to try. Can you say it with me? My heart and my hands are willing and ready to try. My heart and my hands are willing and ready to try. So we'll just go right into our story. It's a nice story we have for today, and then I'll just ask you a few questions. Well, actually, before we start the story, let me just ask you this. Have you ever been asked to do something that you weren't too sure that you wanted to do? I think right now a lot of us are, asked to do things that are new and that we're not always necessarily sure we want to do, like wearing face masks. It's the first example that came to mind, new things, learning remotely from home instead of in our school or returning to school from learning remotely. There are a lot of changes in the works right now and a lot of new experiences. Um, So just think about that as you're listening to the story, about whether or not there are times when you're asked to do something that you're just not too sure about, and how you paying attention to how you respond to that, um, and whether or not it might make sense to think about it in a different way. So with that, let's launch into our story, and then we'll talk about it a little bit more. The story is called Cuddles Misses Out. Cuddles and Biscuit were happy to be pets, and they shared everything, including their people, Mike and Martha. The people and the dogs lived together in a little blue house in the city. Martha gave Cuddles her name because she loved to cuddle up on the comfy red sofa while Martha read beside her. Mike gave Biscuit her name because he only had to open the cupboard where the dog biscuits were kept, and she would come running from anywhere in the house to get a treat. Cuddles and Biscuit were happy together, but they didn't understand one another. Biscuit was always ready for anything Mike or Martha offered. She didn't hesitate to try something new because anything could be a fun adventure. When Mike called Biscuit, "Would you like to?" Biscuit was there wagging her tail before he finished his sentence. Cuddles was always willing to cuddle on the sofa, but she considered anything else very carefully before she decided if it was worth her attention or cooperation. In fact, Cuddles was secretly proud of the fact that if she didn't want to do something, nothing could change her mind. No amount of coaxing, pushing, or pulling could get her to go outside when it was raining or cold. Martha had given up trying to make Cuddles try a different brand of dog food or to go to a different route on their evening walk. Biscuit thought Cuddles was missing out on a lot of fun, and Cuddles thought Biscuit was a little crazy to take such risks. What if something happened? When Mike and Biscuit were camping, Cuddles was only interested in staying home on the couch. And when they came home and Biscuit told her that it had rained and hailed and the tent had collapsed, Cuddles smugly said, I told you something would happen. Mike sat on the red sofa and told Martha, "It rained so hard. I couldn't get a fire going. Then the tent collapsed, and I had to fix it in the hailstorm. Biscuit was amazing. She even tried to help. When I crawled into the sleeping bag, when I crawled into the wet sleeping bag, I was so glad to have Biscuit there to keep me warm that I didn't even notice the wet dog smell." He reached over and gratefully patted the dog's soft black fur. Mike continued his story. In the morning, I realized I had forgotten to pack the dog food, but Biscuit didn't care. She ate cold peanut butter sandwiches with me. I tried fishing off the pier, but instead of catching a fish, I dropped my favorite hat into the water. I wasn't really surprised when Biscuit immediately jumped in and rescued it for me. She is the best companion to have on a disastrous camping trip. Thank goodness she came with me. Martha reached down and stroked Biscuit's soft fur and said softly, "You're always ready and willing, aren't you?" Cuddles heard the love in her voice. Later that week, Mike yelled, "Biscuit, you want to go for a ride in the car?" Of course, Biscuit was in the back seat in a flash. Cuddles prepared to do battle. Riding in the car was noisy and bumpy and not something she wanted to do. But Martha walked out the door. "I know Cuddles won't go, so why even try?" she said to Mike as they got into the car. Cuddles spent a long, quiet, lonely day on the sofa. It was after dark when she heard Mike and Martha laughing as they came into the little blue house. When Biscuit came in, Cuddles quickly asked, "I bet something happened, didn't it?" Biscuit answered, "Something always happens. That's what makes life interesting." Biscuit lay down on the rug. "We went out to this lovely green place where you could run and never stop. I chased butterflies and a rabbit. Then there was a stream with fish, and I chased those too. I took a long nap in the sun, and Martha gave me treats. We went through the car washing machine on the way home, and I barked at all the noisy brushes. What a day!" Cuddles watched as Biscuit gave a happy sigh and fell asleep. Martha came in and gave Cuddles a tired pat, but Cuddles barely noticed. She was thinking. The next day, when Martha offered a new kind of doggy treat, she was surprised that both Biscuit and Cuddles came to get one. She was even more surprised to see Cuddles show up when Mike called, "Biscuit, do you want to go for a run?" As they walked out into the sunshine, Cuddles thought, "I wonder if something will happen." So here are some questions. Why do you think Cuddles changed in the story? Why do you think? I think maybe it's because she was missing out on some fun adventures. I wonder. I bet there are other um, explanations too. I wish I could hear what you think. What did Biscuit mean when she said that something always happens? Do you think she meant something bad always happens? Maybe just something interesting, something fun, something new. Can you remember a time when you were unwilling to try something and you later wished you had? That's a great question. I wonder if you can remember a time like that. And if there is one, the great thing is new adventures present themselves to us all the time. We always have a choice to make a new decision. So if a new adventure presents itself again and you think, "Ah, last time I wish I had done that thing," maybe you can try something different this time. We're all in a little bit of an adventure together right now, aren't we? Um, I'm recording a video for you instead of being in the Sunday school room. It's different. It's different, but it's good, and I'm glad that I get to have this time. to read the story with you, even though we are not physically together. I think of you all often. There's one little exercise with this lesson that I liked, so I thought I would share it with you. It's just a little thing you can say. I liked it. So, ready? I'm awake and ready. Be glad, my brain. Be ready and willing. Be happy, my hands. Reach out to help. I'm awake and ready. And with that, let's end with our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. Power of God protects me. And the presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is. And all is well. Love to you. See you soon. Bye-bye.